We're back with our Tuesday talk, where we are talking of everything to do with content, getting your digital content online, talking about everything about how to get your content online, how to get that knowledge out of your head and unpack that into a range of digital products. So this is everything we're talking about. So for those of you that have tuned in before to our Tuesday talks, we've been absent for a while. Must apologise. Things have, gotten busy. We changed a few things, dropped a couple of things in the chat in our process, but we're back, and we're back for our Tuesday lives. So the way these lives work is that I'm going to be throwing out a bit of content. Depending on what I'm delivering, can be anywhere from sort of 30 to 45 minutes. And then I'm going to open up for live chat after that, where opportunity for people to jump in and ask any sort of questions around getting content out of your head, turning into digital learning experiences that allow you to stand out, to scale, create impact, and generate that lifestyle that you desire. So today's talk, Tuesday talk, is around getting into that edupreneurial sweet spot. So that's it. What are we talking about when I'm talking about the edupreneurial sweet spot? Or probably more importantly, we probably need to stop and going on what is he talking about when he talks about edupreneur. So let's have a think about this. So what is it? What is an edupreneur? Okay, so it's a bit of a wank term, a bit of a mesh of two different terms. So really what we're talking about when we talk about an edupreneur, we're talking about an educational entrepreneur. We're talking about someone who is trying to create impact in the world, that is generating a business for themselves, an entrepreneurial business, with the big focus around education. So delivering their content, delivering their knowledge, sharing that with people as part of an educational business. Okay, and this is the thing, and it's like, there's so much that there's obviously been the rise of the entrepreneur over the past, 10, 20 years. But the reality is that we're actually now moving to a stage where it's actually going to become the rise of the edupreneur. There's so much out there in terms of the digital economy, so much out there in terms of, the technology that we've got available to us, the tools to allow us to share our knowledge, to reach more people and to create the impact. And so many people that are doing it successfully, and for this digital economy, one of the big things that we're seeing, the big positives that we see, is this ability to share educational content. And so many people that have packaged this up as part of their offering are certainly making huge inroads and huge success with their business. And potentially there might be those that don't package up this educational content as an offering to their client or to their market, are probably going to lose out on some of that market space. So that's a bit of the stuff about an edupreneur. So what is it? What is that edupreneurial sweet spot that we talk about? Okay, so this is really sitting down, and the large part of this is thinking about, well, what is it? Where are you? What do you want to try and do? What is the impact that you want to have? And looking at a number of different factors. And it's really around looking at this sweet spot of the things around what you're good at, what you love, what the world needs, and what you can pay paid for. And where we can actually bring those together, then that is effectively that big sweet spot. And if you can hit that sweet spot, you're going to be having a great life, because you're really going to be doing something you're passionate about. You're going to be getting rewarded for it. You're going to be helping people, and you're going to be able to share your expertise. And while, effectively you're going to be working, it's probably not going to feel like work. I think if we're out there all doing the stuff that we love, that we're good at, that people want, and we're getting paid well for, yeah, I don't know if that's work. So yeah, so let's have a look, dive into each of these things. So the first thing is really having a think about, well, what is it you're good at? Okay, that's the big thing. So obviously to move into this Edupreneur, to become an educational entrepreneur, you need to be good at something. You need to have a level of expertise that you can share, that you can unpack, that you can get that knowledge, the expertise out of your head. And for those who have watched my videos or tuned into one of our webinars and stuff before, you would have heard me say, that the saying of the knowledge in your head is invaluable but intangible. There's a lot of people with some great expertise sitting in their head, and while it's probably invaluable information, because it's just in their head, it's really not tangible, and therefore it's not actually creating any impact. So the first thing is to think about, well, what is it? What are you good at? So it's really a matter of going, okay, well, what is it? Where is your zone of genius? Is it, is it in sales, or is it in marketing, or is it with design, or is it with helping people, or whatever? Everyone has got, I suppose, their real big zone of genius. And while we have things that we do, and while we have a level of expertise, I'm sure that we could probably narrow that expertise down into a very narrowed zone of genius that is where we can really share. So it's really thinking about, what is that? Reflect on, if you're thinking about, you and your business, or maybe when you're at work, or whatever that is, or in your personal life, or whatever the situation is, what is it that people come to ask you about? Are you the IT guy, the unofficial IT help desk guy in your workplace or in your business, because you've got the technical skills? While that may not necessarily be your job role, you might actually have those skills. Or are you the guy that's able to talk to anyone, and you can share your knowledge and market and things like that? So really think about that. What is it? What is your zone of genius, and what is it that people come and talk to you about? That's the first thing, because obviously, as I said, we've got to be able to unpack that expertise. If you don't have the expertise, well, then you're going to struggle to unpack that, going to struggle to take that expertise to create this unique methodology to create a signature solution without that expertise. And the second one, but probably actually more important, is, what do you love? Okay, I got asked this question the other day around, chicken and egg, what comes first? Is it passion or expertise, or passion or problem? And I think it really does come down to passion. Okay, so big thing that you need to do is to look at, well, what is it that you love? Okay, and obviously, there's things that you're saying, okay, well, what are you good at? There's probably a lot of things you're good at, but are they also the things that you love? And there's probably some things that you're good at that you don't necessarily love, that you don't necessarily have, the passion for. And the reality is, if you're doing something that you're good at but you don't love it, at some stage you're going to go, yeah, you know what, this doesn't appeal to me anymore. Okay, I'm going to go and chase something else. I'm going to go and look. Or maybe you will be chasing those shiny objects all the time because you just haven't got that passion in that thing. Whereas what we see is people that have got passion in a topic, a passion in a something, is is the fact that, yep, I'm passionate about it, I'm going to chase it, and as I'm saying, it doesn't feel like work, and they're probably going to put in more effort because that level of passion is there. So it's really about, thinking about, what is it? What gets you excited? If you could do anything at all, what would it be? When you're up in the morning, what is it you're thinking about? Do you get up in the morning and go, woohoo, I'm going to go and get to do some administration work and, do my bank reconciliation or do some filing? Probably not. It's probably something else that's going to, that really lights your fire. So it's really a matter of having a think about, what is that? What does that look like? What do you love? Okay. And if there's that classic saying, day in your life. So it's really about looking at those things, bring all that passion, that what you're good at and what you love, and bring that together as your big passion piece. What is that passion piece? Okay, that's a big thing that you need to have as part of your entrepreneurial sweet spot. But that's only part of it. The other part is, well, what is it that the world needs? Okay, because you can go, hey, I'm really good at something, and I'm really passionate about this, and that's great. But then if the world doesn't actually need it, or if there's not a need in the marketplace or a need in your market, then you're certainly going to struggle, okay? Because you're going to be out there with this passion project, but no one's actually going to be, getting you to do any work with it. So it's really going to be a struggle there. So it's very much around not just what you love and what you're good at, but what is it the world needs? What are the big problems that you can solve? What is it? When you look at, your industry, your area that you love, that you're good at, looking at those things, what is the problem that you can solve? What impact can you make? What is the positive impact you can make by doing what you love, doing what you're good at, that also aligns with what the world needs? Have a look at those things. And that's it. And part of it is, yes, very much looking at that. So it's really around looking at, well, combining that passion with the mission, okay? And again, that's really going to, it's not only going to increase that passion, because obviously if you've got a passion about something, you're going to be really passionate, and which is obviously a natural thing to do. But if you're going to have a passion, you're going to be driven. But then if you can actually see the impact that that's having, so that's where your mission comes into it. So you actually go, oh my God, not only do I have a passion about this, but I can actually see the impact I'm making, the change that I'm making in people's lives because of this. Well, that just takes it to another level. So it's really about having a good understanding of those things around what is it, what are you good at, what do you love, and what is it the world needs? And then the final part of that piece is then, what is it? What can you be paid for? Because obviously there's, you can have your passion, you can have your mission, but there's also this need for an income. So it's really a matter of going, okay, well, what is it? What can you be paid for? And can you generate the lifestyle that you desire through your passion and the mission as part of that process? Is there enough people out there that have the problem that are willing to pay you for it? Okay. And tie it back to very much, what is the lifestyle that you desire? Okay. You might want to, or you might have a very frugal lifestyle. Okay. You might be quite happy, working and not generating millions of dollars. You might just be happy enough to have money to pay the bills and things, and that's great. Okay. And if that mission passion can generate that for you, then great. But you might also have you might have the desire to have $1 million lifestyle. You might want to have the fancy cars and, do the lavish trips and things like that. So in that case, then obviously, what you are, what you can be paid for is obviously going to be different. So you really need to play that out and look at what are those pieces in that, and saying, is it, is it actually going to generate the lifestyle that I desire? And if it's not, then you have to think about, well, really, is that really hitting that sweet spot? Okay, because obviously where we bring together what the world needs and what you can be paid for, then obviously that's your vocation. When you bring what you're getting paid for and what you're good at, that's obviously your profession. And obviously put all those four together and we've hit that sweet spot. So that's the big thing, is really looking at what is that sweet spot to target. And this is the thing, when we look at those people out there that are being successful edupreneurs, we look at the characteristics of them, okay? They're passionate, they're driven, they're sharing their expertise, they're solving problems that people in the world needs, and they're getting rewarded for it. And they're getting rewarded at a level that obviously is of value to them. It's important to look at all of these things as part of that sweet spot, okay? Fall down in one of these areas, okay, then you're not necessarily going to be in that sweet spot, okay? Certainly if you're good at something and you're getting paid for it and the world needs, but you don't love it, at some stage you're gonna drop out. If you're doing something that you love, you've got your passion, you're good at, people are paying you for it, but they don't really need it, then at some stage that need is probably going to drop off. There's probably going to be a point in time where, yes, initially people will pay you for it. You might find a small market that's going to pay you, but then at some stage it's going to drop off. So then you'll be in a situation where you're sort of working between a profession and a vocation. It's probably going to be more of a job, and it's going to be a struggle as well. Certainly if people are not necessarily needing it. Okay. Again, you might be passionate about something, the world needs it, and you're going to get paid for it. But if you actually don't have that expertise, then at some point, then obviously something's going to come up where you're not necessarily going to really be able to help people to the level that you need to, with obviously sharing the expertise that they need. You're not really going to be able to create the impact that you want. So the sweet spot is really the combination of all four of those things. So the big thing to think about is, well, where do you sit? What is it that you're doing? What are you good at? What do you love? Is it something that the world needs? And is it something that you can be paid for? So just a quick one today for our Tuesday talk, thinking about what is that entrepreneurial sweet spot. Okay, so I'm just going to open up now. So what does this look like? Okay, question for you. What is that going to look like for you? Okay, how do you take that? How do you take your unique intellectual property? How do you create a signature solution that's going to let you stand out and scale? Because while you might have something that you can love, that you're good at, that you can be paid for and what the world needs, then potentially though, there might be others out there that are going to be in competition with you. So it's really about also not just once you've got that sweet spot defined, then thinking about, well, what does this look like? What does this look like for me? And how can I create this unique proposition? How can I take what I'm doing and make it unique, add my stamp to it, create my signature solution? And that's going to really allow you to stand out above your competition. We talk about this as being moving into the blue ocean, out of the red ocean of competition and sharks, and into the blue ocean of calm, where you can stand out and scale up and be different and noticed and help the world and get that paid for what it is that you love and that you're good at. So have a think about that. What does this look like for you? So now just going to quickly open up for any questions. Okay, question there. We've got one comment on Facebook user. This is also my dilemma, what I love to do or what I'm good at. Yep. Okay. And that's that dilemma. Sometimes, yes, you might go, I'm good at this, but I really don't love doing it. And that's this balancing act that you need to have of things there. So yeah, certainly any questions you've got, drop them in the chat. Okay, we're obviously streaming live to Facebook, we're streaming live to YouTube, and using Restream for our streaming. So any questions that you post should be coming up in the chat for me. So open up any questions you've got for us now. certainly, yep, throw some in. Okay, any other factors to consider aside from passion and expertise? Well, I mean, obviously, yeah, as I said, the four factors of you know, are people going to pay for it and stuff like that? But in terms of your personal things, no, it really is. If you can find something that you've got expertise in and you've got passion, or you're good at it and you're passionate about it, they're really those factors that you need. Yeah, obviously, people, you know, the world needs it and you're going to get paid for it. They're the other two pieces. But yes, it's very much, if we go back to, you know, oops, jumping sorry ahead. If we come back to this and looking at those two things, really find that passion piece where you're getting there. They're the main factors you consider. Okay, and as I said, it's like finding that thing that works well. You know, there might be some things that you love, but you may not necessarily be that good at it, and so therefore it probably isn't necessarily going to sit in this passion space. And there's obviously things that you're good at, but you don't love. And again, so you really need to think about what is this intersection of your passion, the mission, vocation, and profession. This is still as part of that process. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? So as I've said before, we're back. We were doing these for a while. We got sidetracked with a few other things, other projects and stuff, and have stopped delivering them. But we're now going to be back and delivering these every Tuesday, doing our Tuesday talks, where we talk all things to do with learning design, how to take the knowledge in your head and how to create a signature solution that's going to let you stand out, scale up, and create impact in the world. So we'll be back every Tuesday. Going to run along same format. I'm going to present some content, and then for anyone that's on the call, drop the thing in the chat. If you're watching this on the recording, again, you know, drop your comments into the Facebook. We can always come back and you know, we can always address those comments later on as part of that, and you know, again on YouTube, anything like that. So good. Got no more questions, then we may move on. Now, obviously, one of the things we're doing for those people that are really interested in going, okay, yes, I want to get into that entrepreneurial sweet spot. I really want to look at, you know, putting my passion into place, and my passion and mission and vocation and things like that, putting it all together. Well, maybe you might want to book on and have a call with us. So we've got our clarity mapping calls where we really sit down and help you get clear around what is that, you know, where we actually start to look at, okay, let's define that destination. What does this look like for you? If you're to move into that entrepreneurial journey, you know, what is that going to look like over the next 6, 12 months, you know, next 3 years? What does that journey look like for you? You know, and how can you actually develop a signature solution so that you can actually stand out and scale up and become a successful entrepreneur? So if you're interested, jump on to one of the mapping calls there. Link there at the bottom, https:/my.signaturesolution.online/thank-you. Book in free 45-minute call where we can chat with you and help you to define that destination. Okay. So that's pretty much it. We've got no more questions coming through, so we might wrap it up for today. And that's today's Tuesday Live. We'll see you back here, same time, 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's Queensland time for anyone in the southern states when we move to daylight savings next month. Yep, so 1 p.m. Jump on and join us for our next Tuesday talk. Thank you.